Hello everyone, and welcome back. This is your host Flight Feather from the Nest of Creativity. This is a redo of a video that I did just today actually, because I thought it was pretty bad after a while, especially with all the feedback that I got. I went all the way out of my element and I wanted to try and redeem myself by revising this presentation and making sure that I go about it in a more professional manner without pulling any crazy stunts like I did last time. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry about that. So let's get back to the scheduled programming. For the first item on our list for characters that we should avoid creating, it's a recolor but it isn't type. This is a character that I've known on Tumblr for a while. I let the creator know that I didn't like their character because she was aggressive. Well, probably not really aggressive, but the whole objective of role-playing is to get cool interactions. And it would always end the same with this character, with her brushing you off and treating you like trash. And I didn't like it, so I let the creator know because I really wanted to interact with this character more. But I ended up getting blocked because I was being too brash and too harsh about it. I admit it. I generally, don't care too much when it comes to the whole feelings thing, but that's how this character came along. How that ties into my disposition towards this character, however, is the fact that she's a recolor. Looking at the bottom left hand of the screen, you see Princess Luna from My Little Pony. And when you take a look back at the character named Emma, you see that they look remarkably similar. If you look in the background, you'll even see Princess Luna's cutie mark in action. I did not like this either because it just seemed unoriginal. It's boring. I mean, why would you make a character that, looks almost exactly like a canon character? Now, whether or not Emma is a bad character or not is not the topic of the video. It's the simple fact that she's a recolor and you should always avoid recoloring your OC to look like one that is canon, at least in my opinion. So, to the next one, the not enough colors. These are the characters that generally do not seem to follow any kind of palette whatsoever. And don't take this as me saying that having mixed matched characters is a bad thing. It's not. But I personally feel like a character should have some kind of theme, more or less. This character here doesn't seem to have one. You see a bit of a cascade of blues, which looks nice, but then you have these sort of, I want to say mustard yellows. It's probably not mustard yellow, but it looks close. And then you have the red eyes, and it doesn't look right, at least to me. So if you ask me, grab a color wheel or go online, check out a color palette site, something along those lines, so that you can understand how to give your character a more uniform flesh look. On to the next one. The Perfectionist. Well, it's pretty self-explanatory. These are the characters that try their best to be perfect. They are flawless. They have all the power in the universe. They can't do anything wrong. They are just that perfect cinnamon roll that you just cannot pass up. And it's not that perfect characters are bad on their own. I just personally think they're boring. There's nothing exciting to them. You already know they're going to succeed. And in my opinion, when something is unpredictable, like, I don't know, the stock market, or whether or not you'll roll in lucky sevens or not, I don't know. It's more exciting when you just don't know what the outcome is actually going to be. So, Perfectionist characters, not the worst things on the planet, but not terribly exciting either. Although it does make for some good action when they actually fail at what they're doing, like our buddy Cell here. On to the next one. The I'm always stronger than thou. Well, Frieza is probably not the greatest example, of someone who is always stronger than you. Because he did lose to, well, he lost a battle. Let's just say that, because I don't want to spoil anything. But I think everybody should know Frieza's story here. But for those that don't, I'm not going to say too much. Anyways, this is the guy that will always try to be stronger than you. This is the overpowered one. The one who will always dodge your attacks. The ones who can even just flick you and break your bones. These are the guys that I just avoid them flat out. I'm not saying that you should. I mean, if you want to, then go right on ahead, but these are the characters that I definitely do not want to have much to do with, especially if I'm looking for someone to have a fighting roleplay with between characters. These are the guys that you probably don't really want to mess with unless you want your character to lose on purpose. Other than that, tread lightly. Next one is the Edgelord. Everybody who knows me knows that I have quite a number of colorful things to say about edgelords. But not all black and red OCs are bad. Let me just say that right now. However, the ones that aren't bad are a dime a dozen. You might tell me, yeah, you know, my OC is good even though he's black and red. He might be. But as one of my favorite characters from Dragon Age Inquisition said, if I can say it word for word, you can hate groups, kingdoms, nations, and whatnot just fine. But to hate each individual person, it takes too much work. So that means there could be a black and red OC out there that's actually, well, kind of cool. I've barely ever seen it. But these guys also do tend to be overpowered and combine a couple of other character tropes that I don't like, so I tend to steer clear of edgelords. But if you do have a cool edgelord character, did I just say edgelord character? Well, yeah, if you have a cool edgelord character, then I don't know, put it in the comments or something, and we'll see if I like it or not. On to the next one. The SelfInsert. Okay, SelfInserts are usually not that bad, but they're not terribly interesting either, because you're sort of just following who you are as a person and making yourself into a character, essentially. And it usually comes with the knowledge of wherever your character may have come from. You know, whether it be MLP or even just some universe that you came up with yourself and you know everything about it. These self-inserts tend to be omnipotent, so they know things that they probably shouldn't, at least the characters do. So I don't have an inherent problem with self-inserts, but I tend not to mess with them too much. And I think this is the final one here, which kind of ties into the last one, the OverKnowledged. Now, this one is between, I would say, the self-insert and obviously the OverKnowledged one. They're not mutually exclusive. They do have some things in common with each other, but the OverKnowledged is the character that just knows everything. They're not a self-insert, but they know everything for some reason. They're not as old as, well, I'm not really sure what example to give per se, but let's say your character's like 25 years old or something, and they know literally everything about the universe and the world and its history and all sorts of stuff. It can't be possible. They would have to be some kind of god or something, or a spirit that's been around since forever. And I mean, obviously they weren't that way if they're 25, so characters like this, they're all right. They're not the worst things on the planet, but I like to learn alongside these characters or learn from them while they themselves still have the opportunity to learn as well. So, hopefully you like this revised video. Make sure to subscribe and like. And tomorrow I will make a video about what makes a character good, or rather, good character designs. So, see you around in the nest.